Hello. I'm never sure why I never feel the need to brush my hair or anything, but I slept in a braid, so deal with it. Alright, so I have two cards this week because last week I was going to do this, but I scratched a cornea in my eye. And I made this video and I didn't really like it because I was so out of it that it just wasn't right. So this week I will be talking about the card that I had pulled last week and what I journaled about it. And then this week I pulled the King of Air. I'm sorry that it's backwards. Maybe I can fix that. But first things first. So I was writing this journal entry. And it's kind of mean. I didn't mean to make it mean, that's just how it came out. So I'll be paraphrasing what I said. Okay, so every once in a while I get in this mood where I tend to fret about things. Like, I have a pretty, I'm not going to be all, like, braggy or whatever, but I think I have a pretty awesome life. And it doesn't mean that everything is perfect and blah, 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 because that's hardly what it means. But I'm at a point in my life where I don't have to worry about anyone, which is so nice. It's nice to just be yourself and to have people understand you and you don't have to put a front up for them or anything like that, which is beautiful. But up until the beginning of this year, I had this friend who I've been friends with for 13 years and we got in this huge fight and we really haven't spoken to each other since, and we're both at the point where it's like maybe we're not supposed to be friends, I don't know. And the card that I pulled, the Nine of Water, just reminded me that I have a lot in my life to be thankful for. And my life is exactly the way it's supposed to be. So I'm not bad-mouthing this person at all. I'm just saying that maybe things happened the way they happened because we're just not supposed to be in each other's lives anymore at this point. It was mostly because we could have had a brilliant friendship that could have spanned beyond years and years, but we both got to the point where we couldn't just talk about how we were feeling. And we let the hurt and the bad feelings overshadow what could have been a beautiful friendship. And sometimes that's how things go. With that being said, this is November, and it's National Novel Writing Month. And the first time I joined it, it was 2013, and I won, and I was very excited about it. But this same friend didn't, because she kept having problems. And I was so happy, but I also felt like I couldn't announce that I had won because it might hurt her feelings. And I realize now that this was in 2013 and we were friends for an entire year after that, and I still couldn't just come right out and say, oh, I won that. I had to hide it from her, and that's not a good place to be. I didn't even participate in it last year. And then she never really said anything until the end when she's like, oh yeah, I won that. And it's like, oh, okay. I mean, you just basically have to write 50,000 words in 30 days. And a lot of people start and never finish. And I had been working on a novel that I had been working on before, but I still didn't have enough words. And I made quite a dent in it, and I was really proud of myself but just the fact that I couldn't bring myself to say anything because all I had been hearing all month was about how she had started it, but then it got deleted, and then this happened, and then this happened, and I just gave up after that. I'm like, you know what? This isn't even worth a fight. I'm not even going to say anything, because at that point I'd feel like, yay, my accomplishment. I managed to do it, but you didn't, so blah, blah, blah. I thought I should be sensitive to her feelings and not say anything. So I just didn't. And I realize now that friendship should never be like that. It should be, you're happy, you can share your happiness with people, and they're not going to shit all over it. And even if they didn't get to win themselves because of whatever, at least they're supportive enough of you to where they don't feel like you're shoving it in their face if you accomplish something that they didn't. So, with that being said, this year I started a new novel and I finished it. I finished the 50,000 word challenge with 51,411 words, which is a lot. And I had to basically delete everything that I wrote in like a day because I didn't like it. But it's alright. With all of that being said, this week was a huge challenge for me because I was writing every day. I had the system down, and then I scratched my eye, and for a couple of days I couldn't do anything. I had to sit in the dark with sunglasses on. It was so freaking painful for me. And I had to keep reminding myself that yes, although this happened and it sucks, at least nowadays I have people who I can share that with, and they're not going to be happy for me, but then shit all over it by making me feel guilty that they didn't win or something stupid like that. So with that being said, I have this week's card, which is the King of Air. Dun, dun, dun. And from what I gather in the book, this card, it says brilliant, impartial, professional, diplomatic. I guess going on for 8 minutes about a shitty friend wasn't really diplomatic with me. So, whoops. And it says speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice. Balance mental and emotional considerations. I read in the book that I have that accompanies this that the King of Air is about being diplomatic, about balancing emotions, about justice, about being professional. And I'm not really sure how that applies to my life yet, but it is only Monday. So I'm going to try and journal as much as I can this week. I think that's really important. And, I got new cards, and I cannot wait until they get here. They're called soul cards, and I saw them in a shop called Stargazers in Fish Creek, Wisconsin, and they're so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to have them. It was a regret of mine that I did not buy them. But I bought this ring instead. Oh. Sorry, I saw my armpit. I bought this ring instead. It is so pretty. But it's a little too big for me, but I don't even care. I wear it anyways. Alright, so this is Thanksgiving week. And before I stop this, I'm going to name 5 things that I'm thankful for. This week, I am thankful that this week is Thanksgiving because it is one of my favorite holidays. Not so much because of the turkey and the Pilgrims and the Indians and blah blah, all that stuff, but because it was the last holiday that I saw my grandmother alive in 1997 because she died on Christmas. So I did not get to see her that day. So I'm thankful to always have Thanksgiving because it's the last time I saw her alive. I'm thankful that my family is relatively healthy this year. For everyone who knows me knows that my dad always goes through excuse me, always goes through something horrible in November. And this year we've really been working hard towards changing his diet and making him more healthy. So this year I'm really thankful that that's been happening. I'm thankful for my best friend, who I also will get to marry one day. I'm thankful for my friends who are also my huge support system. And I'm thankful that I have enough money this year to do all the things that I want. For people who know, for about 3 years I was only getting paid. I get paid to take care of my dad. So I was getting paid for 71 hours in a month. That's nothing. So this year there's major change, and now I can afford to live my life a little bit and pay bills that I couldn't pay. So I had to keep procrastinating on paying. Now I can catch up, and it is such a nice feeling, and also be able to give back. This year for Christmas, I'm planning on buying handbags and little travel sizes of like beauty products and stuff, and putting them in there and dropping them off at one of my local churches. And that will be such a nice feeling to be able to do that for people. So that is it for this week. Thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, if you want me to pull a weekly card for you and say what I'm going to say about it, feel free to do that. Happy Thanksgiving, and thank you for watching. Bye.